Hello, everyone. It's 10:43 p.m. on August 4th, 2015. Now, I just want to go over another mainstream article with you real quick, and I do apologize about this. I usually like to actually bust hoaxes and whatnot, but since my time has been limited and everybody else has done such great coverage of everything, I've been kind of taking a back seat. But I feel like this is still important information to get out there. So if you can just bear with me, it'll only just take one moment to go over this article. Essentially, what's happening here is they've come right out and said that British special forces are posing as ISIS, operating deep inside Syria. So they've come right out and said basically that it's British special forces. Well, some of these ISIS units are British special forces, which will lead you to think, well, at least me, that most of them are probably British and Israeli and United States Special Forces. So anyway, I'm going to go over the article really quick, and I do apologize. It is kind of late here after a long day of farm work, but I will try to read it in the best tone possible. All right, this one is by RT, and I think I saw this originally posted to Google Plus by Swan Song. I'm not sure, but I think he was the one, so thank you for that. Alright, so according to RT, Special Forces disguised as ISIS fighters operating in Syria, military sources. This was published August 3rd, 2015, 11:59. Edited on the 4th. It says here that Special Forces soldiers from Britain's most shadowy military unit are dressing as Islamic State militants and traveling deep into the badlands of Syria to track and destroy enemy assets, according to military sources. It is reported that up to 2 S.A.S squadrons of men, around 120 personnel in all, are operating inside the borders of Syria as part of Operation Shader, which aims to destroy equipment and munitions used by Islamic State I.S., formerly I.S.I.S. The troops are operating under U.S. command as part of the Coalition Joint Special Operations Task Force. It goes on to say that essentially this is what we call penny packet operations, small individual incursions which hopefully join up to create tangible results. On Saturday, a senior military source told the Express newspaper. The source said the operations were seen as a way to, that's a little misprint there, soften up the enemy and gather intelligence for further military activities. The view here is long. It's about finding and engaging targets, yes, but it's also about assessing infrastructure and identifying where ISIS is hiding its equipment in order to set the conditions for a potentially larger future engagement. The soldiers operate mini drones, scouting the way ahead of targets, assigning and operating in so-called pillboxes, areas of territory in which no coalition airstrikes will take place during the soldiers' time there. The process of essentially outsourcing UK troops by placing them under foreign authority came under the spotlight recently after it was revealed UK fast jet pilots are carrying out combat operations in Syria despite a 2013 parliamentary vote banning military action in Syria. In July, it emerged that Royal Navy pilots embedded with the U.S. and Canadian forces had been involved in missions flown from aircraft carriers in the Gulf. It is crucial that in these important and sensitive matters, the confidence and trust of this Parliament is maintained as well as that of the British people, Shadow Defense Secretary Vernon Coker said at the time. The government has acted in a way that puts that trust and confidence at risk. It finishes up by saying, only days later it was revealed that UK drone crews had been routinely operating under U.S. command from Creech Air Base in Nevada. Concerns were immediately raised about whether RAF personnel were involved in strikes on Pakistan and Yemen, nations which the U.S. had been bombing for some time, but with whom the U.K. is not legally at war. A Ministry of Defense memo, accessed by a charity reprieve, referred to the embedding of U.K. personnel in U.S. units as a gift of service to make up for manning shortfalls. Now, you can make of this what you will, but the way I read it is that they're just coming right out and telling you that ISIS is them. Just like the Edward Snowden thing, if they come out and tell you, oh yeah, by the way, they're spying on everything you do, and the nation doesn't do anything in retaliation, I'm not advocating violence in any way. That's not what I mean. I'm saying if they're not impeaching people, if they're not dismissing representatives and actually retrofitting the Constitution to prevent such corruption again, then they are just going to continue on with the surveillance, and they're going to continue on with the confiscation of rights. And that's what's going to happen. The same thing with this ISIS thing. Obama's come out and said that they are speeding up training of ISIL forces in one of his own very own speeches.
Was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes in Anbar province. Was moving too slowly, but the fall of Ramadi has galvanized the Iraqi government. So with the additional steps I ordered last month, we're speeding up training of ISIL forces, including volunteers from Sunni tribes.
So yeah, he's an asshole. It's only a matter of time before we get the Jihadi Johnny in space stories. It's only a matter of freaking time. Anyway, guys, as always, I greatly appreciate you sticking in there with me. Those of you who've made it this far, it's really intense to see what's going on these days. They're pushing the agenda really hard, so I find it's important to sometimes not just bust the hoaxes, but help spread articles that maybe people wouldn't have seen otherwise, and to help other folks that can't read through the lines yet understand what the articles are really implying and that sort of thing. Sometimes I don't do the best job of it late at night, but all right, guys, I appreciate it. Take care now. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe.